Hey, buddy, welcome to Twin Talk. Disney just dropped a ton of Marvel announcements. We're going to give you our thoughts right after the intro. So this is our second video today. We discussed the Star Wars stuff, and Disney also dropped a ton of Marvel stuff. Give us the rundown. What did they drop? What's on the slate, Kev?
There's almost too much to count. I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm not going to get into too much detail of actors, actresses, plots, and all that, but I'm just going to give you our thoughts of what we're looking forward to the most, what catches our interest the most, and maybe some stuff that we're not too thrilled about. Right away, I'm going to start off with my personal favorite, which I'm going to have to go with Doctor Strange 2, The Multiverse of Madness. Totally excited for that movie. Sam freaking Raimi is directing the movie, and we know that, yeah, like Kevin Feige said, he was like, it's going to be, one, he used the term scary and mind-bending, so I'm excited to see with the graphics, with the story, what they're doing. I think the villain is Mordo, but also I think they said Nightmare is making an appearance or something like that, but not too sure. I don't know a ton of information from that movie, but we're going to be doing alternate realities. It ties directly to WandaVision, which is coming up on Disney+, which we'll get into a little bit too. And also Spider-Man 3 is the title that was announced, but that definitely cannot be the final title.
Sure, there's something with home in it, I'm sure.
3 homes, 3 homeworlds. Who the heck knows?
Yeah, they'll come up with home in the title. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
Do we know who's directing that Spider-Man movie? Is it going to be John Watts again?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, he's got double duty now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that multiverse movie, that excites me. First of all, it's cool to see Sam Raimi dipping his toes back in the Marvel world. That would be awesome if he got involved in Spider-Man. I'm sure he'll have some cool ideas. He's a bizarre dude himself with the Evil Dead series.
He's definitely got that horror history, and so I'm excited to see what he can do visually, you know, even just with throwing kind of a horror movie into the Marvel mix.
Not only that, but, like, Sam Raimi, like, his movies are kind of like B-horror with, like, practical effects and stuff, and I'm sure he can use some of that knowledge and experience into this. That'll be a cool flavor to throw into the Marvel pot, and I'm excited to see it. I'm definitely excited to see how it plays into Spider-Man 3.
I was reading something before on radiotimes.com is the article. It was talking about there's rumors, I don't know if it's confirmed nor denied, but Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming on with that whole alternate reality stuff. And Loki's Tom Hiddleston might make an appearance, especially because he's kind of going, as we see in the trailer of his series, he's going through different times and realities and stuff like that. But also Deadpool star Ryan Reynolds, if they can tie him this way, introducing him into the Marvel Universe, I think that's genius. I don't know how long this movie's going to be, first of all. It'd have to be like a 4-hour movie to fit, you know, these stories. I hope it doesn't get too convoluted.
Yeah, I mean, I heard about that for Spider-Man 3. It was never confirmed, though, about Andrew and Tobey coming back as Spider-Man for the Spider-Man movie, but that would be awesome, especially since we see DC making moves with Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton playing Batman in the Flash movie. It's going to be, seems like the thing to do now is to have these crossover multiverse movies, because superhero movies have done pretty much all they can do at this point, and now they got to, like, make it fresh again for the audience. Spider-Man 3, it looks like they're just, like, pulling things out of Mary Poppins' purse. Just like, Daredevil, Electro, Doc Ock. They're just pulling out, like, they're pulling all the stops on that movie. They got, like, Alfred Molina, who freaking died in Spider-Man 2. Died in Spider-Man 2. Electro, who died in Amazing Spider-Man 2. But, like, although they didn't show him die, he was just kind of, like, in that, like, metal thing, charger, Electro reader in his head.
Which, by the way, I have zero interest in seeing Jamie Foxx return as Electro. You know, I love Jamie Foxx, and I loved that movie at the time, but it does not hold up well, Amazing Spider-Man 2. The villains are so cornball, and the story is so cornball. I don't want to see the knockoff Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, blue-skinned Electro. Although his voice was cool. I liked how he had, like, the raspy voice because his vocal cords were burnt to a crisp. But unless they do, like, the video game design, which they nailed in the Spider-Man 2018 game of Electro having, like, scars that look like his original mask from the comic books, I have zero interest in seeing, especially Jamie Foxx as Electro.
They're literally just bringing in, like, anybody and everybody. Like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have, like, Bruce Campbell, the guy who played, like, you know, the wrestler announcer, and then, like, the guy at the maitre d' at that restaurant in Spider-Man 3, and then in Spider-Man 2 when he's like the opera house playbill guy. I'm sure he'll make a cameo in this movie because They are literally pulling anybody and everybody for this Spider-Man 3 movie, to the point
Even
where I think
knowing Usher in Spider-Man 2, who was like,
I think Tom Holland. Tom Holland he's probably just like, guys, like, like, where's the love for me? Because he's gotten everybody's coming into this movie. It's got to be like a 2-part movie though. There's no way they're just doing one film.
But speaking of Spider-Man, the director John Watts, he signed on to another thing that I'm also excited about: Fantastic Freaking Four, the Marvel's first family coming back to Marvel properly.
If they don't cast John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, you know that like there's gonna be rioting in the streets.
John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, or I walk.
Yeah, you already know that Marvel's probably already like in talks and contracts with them, because it's been like fans have been like making fan art of that, photoshopping. Like
He looks great.
Sometimes very poorly photoshopping, but like fans they've been wanting them, and like we see how talented John Krasinski is with A Quiet Place. If we see those two as the husband and wife, or however they're going to approach it, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife of the Fantastic Four, it'll definitely be like fan service to the umpteenth degree, and people will love them for that.
John Watts is tied to direct. The Spider-Man movies, they're more childish, and I don't know.
They're more fun.
They're fun, yeah. And, obviously Fantastic Four has that flair, but obviously they can't go too dark like the Fan Four Stick, and they can't go too light. Otherwise we got the original movies with Chris Evans being Johnny Storm. Will they do Multiverse of Madness? Will they make Chris Evans, Johnny Storm meet Chris Evans, Captain America?
Be a confused Chris Evans, has no idea which contract to sign.
Yeah. Or do they do like a Deadpool Green Lantern thing where he just like kills himself?
Shoots himself in the head. I don't hate those first 2 movies from Fox as much as people do. I'll watch them. Fan Four Stick was a train wreck and a half, and I think I would actually rather watch an actual train wreck than go see those movies again. Glad to see Fantastic Four getting the love they deserve. It's about time. Make them cool again. They're Marvel's first family. They're what made Marvel Comics a success in the first place. It's time they get their due.
They're really pushing this Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. We saw her in the Avengers video game. I don't know much about her, but it's going to be streaming on Disney+. They're really hitting that character hard in the comics, the video games, and now this live action. It says that there's going to be a lot of family and heart in the show. I think, that's the vibe they're going for, given she's a young female character. We'll get a lot of that like teenage drama, kind of like she aspires, obviously, to be Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. So maybe is it going to be like a Miles Morales looking up to a Peter Parker, like kind of like taking their, getting underneath her wing, because apparently she's going to be in Captain Marvel 2 as well. If they can do her powers right, visually, then it better look good on Mr. Fantastic, because it's always been kind of weird looking on the screen. I don't think it's a power that will ever translate well.
Marvel, if anyone can do it properly, it's definitely Marvel. I have to see this in the Miss Marvel show, because like her power is like she gets like big hands. I need to see a Hulk hands toy reference. I need it in that show. But that show coincides. It seems like they're going to be related to Captain Marvel 2. We know she's in the movie. We're not too familiar with the character. She's in she's kind of a new character, honestly. She came out recently in the last decade and took the world by storm. I have not been a fan, and this is going to get into other topics too with like Ironheart. I haven't been a fan. I think the one character that works is Miles Morales Spider-Man. That works for me because they like the way it's written, the way it like works out. It's like a different universe. It worked out where the Peter Parker of that universe, kind of dies, and then Miles takes the place. But the whole Miss Marvel thing, Ironheart, I've never been a fan. Even the new Hawkeye series, I've never been a fan of like these new diverse characters just taking over legacy characters. If you're going to come up with a new character, make them a new character. Make Riri Williams a new character. Make Kamala Khan a new character. Don't just keep riding the coattails of these old characters. Other than that, like I'm excited to see the content they come up with. The sizzle reel for Miss Marvel looks cool. The themes of family is always a good theme to have in storytelling. And it looks good. It looks like they have a lot of talent behind it. There's one scene in the trailer where she's kind of wearing like Captain Marvel's like a Halloween costume, looks like. So I was like, that could be cool. And
kind of cool, yeah.
Kind of like Spider-Man with Tony Stark, that relationship.
Well, that too, yeah. Kind of like a big league hero kind of taking the rookie or like, a younger character that idolizes the legend under their wing. I'm optimistic. I'm open to it. Again, like these are newer characters. I'm not too familiar with them. It seems like the more like the younger, newer generation. They seem to have success in the comic books. So I guess we'll see live action. Even Hawkeye, like I'm not entirely excited, even though they have Jeremy Renner tied to it, Kate Bishop, like from the Young Avengers. To me, it's just Hawkeye, except a young girl. Like, it's just like, okay, like it's just kind of passing the torch down. So it was like, I guess, are we going for that? Like a new audience of like newer age, new generation? It seems to me that this whole new phase is phase 4 kind of mixed with phase 5 because COVID kind of just ruined all plans. And it's kind of like the train is like stopped while the other train's coming. So they're kind of now just like hitting each other and they're just throwing all these ideas out there. And maybe it was their plan, or maybe they're just kind of throwing stuff out there, seeing if it sticks. Seems like they're doing the younger crowd and also the diversity. I kind of like that we're seeing all these different characters from different cultures, different backgrounds. It's going to be interesting to expand that brand, broaden your fan base, broaden the creativity. It's going to be interesting to see.
What's next, Kev?
Thor, Love and Thunder.
Thor, Love and Thunder. Not much to say there. We already know what's expected of it. Taika Waititi taking the reins of Thor again. He crushed it with Ragnarok. I expect him to do the same with this. Even when they revealed the title font of Love and Thunder, it looked such like an 80s metal album, and I was just like, oh, man, that looks great. And we know he's going to inject a flavor of what he did in Ragnarok into this. And then on top of that, they just announced, they've had it for a while, Christian Bale. They announced who he's playing now. Do you remember the name of the guy he's playing or no?
Yeah.
Like the God Killer?
Or the God Butcher, yeah.
Or the God Butcher. How metal is that?
Exactly. Christian Bale joins the cast as the villain Batman. I mean, or the God.
Oh, my God. You had Thor versus Batman. The movie's over in 10 minutes.
And I'm excited to see, too, Natalie Portman as, I guess, like Lady Thor or something like that. So she hasn't been in the MCU really too much for a while now, so I'm excited to see her return. It's cool to see all these big names from the movies kind of working their way, too, into the streaming series on Disney+. Mm-hmm. Even She-Hulk. Tim Roth is making a return as Abomination, which I'm excited for because we haven't seen his character since 2008. I've been waiting for them to kind of bring him back.
Hella hyped for that. I love Abomination.
Yeah, he was awesome. Mark Ruffalo, too, will be in the show, and I would love to see just a showdown between all these characters, all the Hulks.
She's a lawyer, too, She-Hulk. So if they truly are bringing Daredevil back in to the MCU with Spider-Man 3, then there could be some play there, too, with Matt Murdock and She-Hulk's character,
Yeah, even I think Kevin Feige said that she's a lawyer specializing in superhero cases. So he says, we never know what kind of like cameos we make an appearance. Loki is going to be awesome, too. I'm excited to see Tom Hiddleston, which we would think that we'd be sick of this character by now, but they seem to be kind of like reinventing Loki over and over again in the MCU. He went from like this jealous brother to now almost kind of a good guy. But now he's almost back to his sneaky ways with the whole timeline kind of being messed up.
He's still
Owen Wilson's going to be in the show. How exciting is that?
Who?
Owen Wilson.
I barely recognized him. At first, like once I heard the voice, I was like, is it Owen Wilson? He's got a mustache. He's like, talking smack to Loki in an elevator, the TVA, which is some like sort of time agency of some sort. Not too familiar with that, but it looks, you know what Loki reminds me of? The show on FX, Legion.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of like that, which is an X-Men spinoff, obviously, but it looks like they're taking Loki in that direction of kind of like wacky. They say it's a crime thriller, which is kind of crazy to me because it's like Loki's too powerful to me to even get associated in crime. I
guess space-time crimes. Who knows? Because it seems like he's messing up the timeline, which I'm hoping is going to be leading into Kang the Conqueror, which we see in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Peyton Reed's directing that. We see
horrible title.
I know it's kind of weird, yeah.
Horrible title, Quantumania. I pray to God that Kang is more serious in that title.
Yeah, especially with a villain of that caliber. Yeah.
They cannot Ronin this dude.
Oh my God!
Ronin in Guardians was such a joke he lost in a dance-off. If they do Kang the Conqueror dirty like that, oh my God! Yeah. If they do like the most disrespect they ever did was the Mandarin and Ronin, and like those are so disrespectful to such good villains. Yeah. They cannot do that with Kang.
Yeah. Speaking of the Mandarin, we're finally hopefully getting an actual appearance of the villain in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Is it Shang or Shang? Shang-Chi?
Kevin Feige said Shang, so I'm going to go with that. And Simu Liu portrays the lead character. Also, an actress, this can't be her real name, Aquafina. I sense a sponsorship or a product placement of the bottled water company in this film.
Has to be.
Let me see it. Okay, her real name is Nora Loom. She became internet famous after her YouTube hit quote unquote my vag. I kid you not.
This is a true story.
This is apparently a true story, but has since climbed the Hollywood ladder, landing roles in movies like Jumanji: The Next Level, Crazy Rich Asians, etc. I'm going into this movie totally blind. I don't know much about the character, but I'm open to see, again, the diversity of the cultures, of the stories.
If they do the Mandarin dirty twice, bro, ooh. Ooh.
I just want to see, because we saw, Danny Rand, Iron Fist. I hope that he makes an appearance with the whole martial art aspect. But I'm excited because, again, like I said before, there's a lot to talk about. What If, Eternals. I'm not going to get too much into those.
Eternals again. I don't care, but
yeah,
I know people are excited.
At the bottom of the list. At the bottom of the list, not catching my eye. Some of these aren't catching my eye. Some of them are.
What If looks amazing though. Let's talk about What If.
What If looks good. Yeah, with Chadwick Boseman in one of the episodes doing vocal acting. Which, speaking of, actually Black Panther 2. I almost forgot. How could I forget? Ryan Coogler. I do not envy that man for trying to write a script and direct this movie with the passing of Chadwick Boseman. I have no clue how he's going to do it. They
said they're not going to recast Black Panther, so that leads me to believe that Shuri, maybe gonna have Shuri come in and step into the role. I mean, she's the one that made the suits anyway.
They said that there's gonna be 2 Black Panthers, 1 female, 1 male. So I'm assuming that it's gonna be Shuri, or it's got to be Shuri, since she's like the princess, his sister in the movie. And I think it's gonna be M'Baku taking the mantle, because wasn't he fighting for the role of the king? So maybe they could
that would be awesome. I love that actor that plays M'Baku, and I loved him in Us, and I loved him in Black Panther. And if he plays, I would just love to see a swole Black Panther, especially since they got on good terms, because we know in the comics that the man ape and Black Panther are enemies, but they got on good terms in the movies, even fighting for each other in Infinity War. And if he became Black Panther, that'd be really cool, and a good character development.
I could see with the story that they had, I could see them kind of working their way to get to that point, which I guess would be a nice transition. But still, it's just an unfortunate situation. But
let's go back to What If real quick, because I'm a huge fan of animation. I was excited when they announced it, let alone the trailer they dropped, which shows different timelines and worlds that they're visiting with. I forgot who's playing the Watcher. Oh, the guy who plays Gordon. In Batman, what's his name? Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright's playing the Watcher, the Watcher. And
there's 4 Gordons throughout, the time. So it's like, which Gordon are we talking about?
He plays Gordon in The Batman, from Your Secret Friend, but he's playing the Watcher in it. And even when the credits come up, it says Marvel, and it's got his eyes in the back and the stars. It's ooh, that looks cool. And then the animation, I was looking forward to a different style of animation, but it seems they're going consistent with the animation in this. But it looks like a lot of cool ideas, like Winter Soldier's Captain America. It seems like, and he's fighting Zombie Cap, and then there's Agent Carter is going to become Captain Britain or Captain America in a way. Black Panther is going to become Star-Lord. So it looks really cool. A lot of cool ideas. It looks like they're going to play a lot with the actual MCU. So I was expecting more of just kind of literally what if, I thought they were going to go off. What if Wolverine did this, and what if Cyclops and Spider-Man did this, Thor that. I mean, it looks like they're actually going to play with the actual MCU.
Yeah, the storytelling potential is there. It's limitless. They could do whatever they want. It's called What If, so they can cook up whatever idea they want. Speaking of the higher MCU, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Black Widow, I feel like these have been pushed back so much with COVID that it's again that train that's running into each other now. All the new stuff's coming out, but we're almost forgetting to be hyped about what's almost here finally. WandaVision, I think, is first. Then we get Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I believe, in March, and then Black Widow in May. And Black Widow, I think, is too little too late. Character's already dead, So,
Black Widow, I feel so bad for that movie. It looked awesome. The trailer came out, looked awesome. COVID killed it. COVID killed any hype it had. But it looks like, was there a picture of Black Widow in one of the trailers for this? I think it was a Loki. It looked like Black Widow was chilling on a planet in the background of one of the trailers, and I was like maybe she's just chilling in one of the stones or something. Who knows? But from what I saw briefly, don't quote me on this, but it looks like she's in a different universe timeline. So who knows what the movie's going to do? I think the movie's a prequel, but it looks like a solid action movie. It just needs to come out already at this point. So
I think from what I heard or what I read, I think the movie's set between Civil War, when Black Widow went rogue and kind of went back to her roots or something. So it's obviously in the past. The character's obviously dead at this point. But, you know, even the movie is like too little too late. Literally, even without COVID, this movie should have been before Wonder Woman.
Years ago.
The first female-led superhero movie with big action. And, you know, especially with COVID, when we saw Tenet in theaters, they had the old trailers playing with the old trailer release date for Black Widow. And it was like, I think it was like October of 2020. And I was like, yeah, we'll see about that. You know, like, or like April, whatever the original release date was.
I thought it was originally like March or April. And then
whatever it was came and went, and they're like advertising a movie, which was just so bizarre to see. And little do we know that we would all come out of the quarantine looking like David Harbour in the super suit, you know, like filling it out that quarantine.
Barely fitting in. What do we got next, Kev?
Last but not least that I want to talk about is Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
They said it's actually going to be like similar to Zack Snyder's Justice League, although his is going to be 4 parts. Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be a 6-part movie broken up into 6 parts on this Disney Plus. So it'll be cool to see like a movie, a slow burn movie throughout 6 parts. I love Anthony Mackie, and he seems like a hilarious dude. And Sebastian Stan, like I feel like they have a good dynamic there. They could do a lot of like comedy and seriousness there too. Both proven actors at this point, and there's a lot they could do with the legacy of Captain America. And I love Falcon's new suit. It's very comic accurate. They like really like leaned into the red and white Falcon suit.
I'm excited to see the return of Baron Zemo too. Since we saw
That's right, yeah.
Civil War, I'm excited to see. Hopefully, he, you know, obviously he's got the mask from what we saw in leaked concept art. But
he also had the mask and concept art of Civil War. So who knows?
I know.
He better have a mask.
I think they're not going to do him dirty twice like that. We're going to get full on purple mask.
Who knows? We'll see what happens. But a good slate so far.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to unpack. But those were just our thoughts. What we're looking forward to. My top 3, I'm going to have to go with number 1 being Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, just because there's so much packing in there with Wanda, you know, Scarlet Witch making an appearance, the Spider-Man, you know, possibilities, all that stuff I'm excited for. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I've always been a big Captain America fan, so that's something I'm looking forward to, especially them kind of carrying the mantle of Cap's legacy is going to be interesting to see. With Baron Zemo, totally stoked for that. And I'm going to have to go WandaVision because it's coming up close and it just looks kind of trippy. A lot of story, you know, to expand upon that. And just because Vision is very cool, I want to see his character throughout a series.
It's a good 3. My top 3, number 1 for me, honestly, I know it sounds weird, What If. I'm really looking forward to the What If series. Huge fan of animation. There's a lot of storytelling you could do there, unconventional storytelling, and play around a lot with the movie timelines and expand upon that and add new things to it that freshens the pot a little bit. And I'm definitely looking forward to that. Second to me, definitely Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 is if they can execute it as well as all the characters they did in Infinity War and Endgame, they should be able to make Spider-Man 3 work unless Sony just like does what Sony does and ruins the whole thing. But Spider-Man 3 is definitely up there for me. And then my third one would probably, it's kind of like a tie between WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier because they're all proven characters in the film series that like I want to see how they pan out on television. But to me, I feel like, you know, the Captain America movies definitely prove themselves with like spy genre, the thriller action. So it looks like the show is going to take some lessons from that and delve into that. So I'm looking forward to that. Those are my top 3.
Yeah, the cool thing is that there's so much to unpack here. There's a little bit of flavor for everyone. That about wraps up our thoughts on the Marvel announcement. What do you guys think? What are you looking forward to? What are your top 3? Is there something that you're really thrilled about? Is there something that you're kind of like, about? Is it overkill, like the Star Wars announcements? Let us know. If you liked our video, give it a thumbs up. Comment below to join the discussion. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll see you next time. Peace!